There's certain patterns to break if you don't want to pass things down to your
kids. A client of mine just sent me a video about why relationships can be so painful for many of us. And it triggered this memory that I have of a video that I saw about the Kardashian family discussing whether or not their addiction to men that are unhealthy is genetic.
And you think choosing bad partners is like a genetic thing?
She was basically posing the question to her mom and siblings about, do you think this is in our bloodline, this addiction to men that are bad for us?
We all have picked people we thought we could change different things about them, and we can't.
As expected, their Scorpio mom, as you know, Scorpio likes to run away from their emotional problems because they like being seen as powerful at all times, was not wanting to have this conversation. And she was trying to spin the script and make it seem like, you know, her mother was like a perfect example of healthy relationships. And the Aries child, who's the oldest, goes, well, she was married 3 times. So clearly your argument doesn't match reality. And that's when the mom checked out of the conversation because, again, Scorpio is not confronting any of these things, especially not on national television.
I started therapy through a toxic relationship and then learned so much about myself, about my family, about why I do certain things, about our childhood wounds, about how they show up in intimate relationships, generational trauma.
Got a very full, fabulous life. Why am I going back?
God bless Kourtney because she's definitely trying to have this therapy talk. And God bless my mom because she's definitely not.
It really exemplify what family issues look like on the big stage because we all have got them, right? Family issues. The reason why relationships are so painful is because we all come from bloodlines of people that were wounded and that did not want to heal. What they wanted to do was run away from their problems, and they did that by avoiding them. What we know about psychology is that what we resist persists. So as an example, I used to have this thing where girls with severe mommy issues would be attracted to me and my energy, because my energy is very nurturing. I mean, I went to school to become a therapist. I worked in mental health for almost 20 years. I'm obviously very empathetic and compassionate and helpful. And more importantly, I care about how other people feel. And a girl who did not have this kind of energy from her mother, what do you think that girl will bring to me if she does not heal? Girls who were made to feel unloved by their mothers are going to be attracted to girls energetically, to girls who give love, because the love we didn't get, we're still seeking. It's not like you stop wanting that love because you didn't get it. In every relationship that we have, we're still seeking that love. But when we refuse to acknowledge that the version of it that we were fed and that we were given is toxic, and we refuse to be honest and unpack that toxicity, and we refuse to see parallels between the toxic ways that our parents did love and the toxic ways that we do love, that keeps us blinded to our own toxicity. Naturally, when we get into intimate relationships, whether it's, you know, your spouse, your boyfriend, your best friend, your child, these toxic patterns are going to come back in because that's all we know. It may not be right, it may not be healthy, but we don't know any other way of doing relationships. The only way we know how to do relationships is the way we did it with mom and dad. It's the way that we were taught, we were wired, we were coded, we were conditioned. You know, it's the way we were imprinted upon. So relationships are karmic for this reason. And this is why Libra, zodiac sign Libra, rules relationships in astrology, love in astrology, because relationships are supposed to be about an exchange of love between two people. Whether we're talking best friend, we're talking mom and her child, we're talking mom and dad, we're talking mom and mom, we're talking dad and dad, we're talking they and them. It doesn't matter. It's supposed to be two people who come together because they love each other, they care about each other, and they want to do right by each other. But if you're raised by a parent or a caregiver, or parents or caregivers who did not love you, you don't understand that relationships are supposed to be about an exchange of love. So naturally, you're going to come to that relationship seeking the love you never had. And because you yourself do not provide that love that you're seeking, the balance in the relationship is off. Some zodiac signs in particular are prone to having power imbalances in their relationship. That would be Libra, Venus, and Moon, Capricorn, Venus, and Moon, Aquarius, Venus, and Moon, and Scorpio, Venus, and Moon, because these 4 signs are directly associated with karma in astrology. And karma means accountability. That's really all it means. It means balance. A relationship where one person comes feeling entitled to love and care and nurturing, but that do not come with the same desire to provide that love, that nurturing and care and protection that they're seeking from the other, how well do you think that relationship is going to go? Let's go a step further. What if that person isn't even aware that the way that they approach love is toxic? What if they're not even aware that they think of relationships as a place to get their unmet childhood needs met, but they don't actually realize that they themselves do not have the skills to provide the same level of support to their partner. And they live in this delusional land where they believe they're ready for partnership, for relationship, for, mothering, but they don't actually have any of the skills to share love, but somehow they're delusional enough to believe that they are equipped for the job. How do you think conflict in those relationships go? How do you think that type of person is going to react when their partner says, you're not really holding your end of the bargain. You're not being fair with me. You're not giving me what I'm giving you. You're not returning the same energy. Do you think they're going to be able to see that shortcoming in themselves and show up for their partner when their partner brings that issue to the table? Do you think they're going to be able to receive the negative feedback from their partner and make the adjustments necessary to evolve into a better partner? Do you think they're going to be willing to explore that deficit in themselves and work to improve it? The answer is no, because they have no capacity for self-reflection. They have no capacity for self-examination. They're still caught up in a toxic cycle of doing what's been done to them, because what's been done to them, even though it was a violation, even though it was hurtful, even though it was painful, even though it was harmful to their self-esteem, that's all they know. All they know is toxic ways of doing relationships. And toxic ways of doing relationships can be summarized as imbalance in the relationship when it comes to energy. In summary, relationships are not hard, even though we say that all the time. Relationships are hard. I think what makes relationships hard is that life is hard. And our parents who have given us the blueprints for toxic relationships had their own unresolved trauma that they didn't deal with. So now that we're big, it's our responsibility to unpack all of that and address all of that and heal all of that so that we can stop repeating that same cycle, which is what the Kardashians were talking about. Are relationships karmic? Yes. Are bad relationships coded in the blood? Yes. Because relationships and the quality of them is based on 2 things. Nurture, meaning how you were raised, and nature, meaning your DNA. If you do not do any work to address any of these elements, how you were raised and how those hurt connection and your natural predisposition, the way you communicate, the way you respond to conflict, your conflict management skills, the way you make space to hear other people speak, like all of these kind of like innate, like human soft skills that we have that help with, collaborating and just like beautiful Libra energy, harmony, balance, peace. If you don't naturally have any of those and your energy is more antagonistic, which is DNA, then it's upon you to reflect on that and to try to soften that. But people that like to avoid their emotional issues not only will avoid your emotional sensitivity in the relationship, but they will also not take responsibility for any of the emotional harm that they bring to the relationship. So are relationships hard? No, but emotional issues are hard because life is hard. And people who refuse to heal make relationships hard.
You can book your astrology reading at intuitivehealing.com. You can also watch videos at Intuitive Healing here on YouTube for Astrology 101 content. Listen to the Aquarius podcast on Spotify, as well as here on YouTube for your horoscope. If you're interested in astrology and love connections, you can visit at Styled Under Libra. And of course, for health and wellness, and holistic healing, visit at Styled Under Virgo for all of your astrology content. Thanks so much for watching.